Who makes a parenting plan? Both people. Both parents need to come to an agreement, which is a parenting plan. That's all it is. A parenting plan is an agreement between two people, two parents, on how they're going to parent their children.
People will usually, in a divorce setting, especially if they have a difficult spouse, they'll negotiate the parenting plan through lawyers. It's a contract, just like any other contract. It just happens to specify details related to kids.
There's a bunch of different categories that's included in a parenting plan. There's the parental responsibility, there's the time sharing schedule, there's the holiday schedule, there's the school designation. How are the parents and the child going to be communicating? There's a whole lot of different categories in a parenting plan. A parenting plan is a contract between the two parents on how you're going to raise the children. In the parenting plan, it delineates, it says who makes decisions about the children. What is the schedule? Who's going to see the child when? What holiday schedule they're going to be following.
In addition to those things, a parenting plan lays out a lot of other just practical things, like if you're going to travel, can one parent travel with the child? Can they travel out of the country? How does that work? Where's the child go to school? What if somebody moves? Where's the child go to school? Then if, the children are at one parent's house, do they get to talk to the other, parent on the phone? When do the kids get phones?
What extracurricular activities do they get to participate in?
A whole really just scope of things. It could be just about anything you can think of.
The parenting plan has a provision, a couple sentences, on how often the child gets to communicate, gets to talk, gets to text, gets to email with the parent. Sometimes it has a time period, maybe 6 to 7 at night. It also has a couple sentences about how the parents are supposed to communicate about the child as well.
And if you're in a difficult relationship, if your spouse is, maybe they're one of these controlling men, you really need to get these details right so that, the other spouse, the difficult parent, is not able to use your child as a pawn against you, as a way to torture you after the divorce.
So the question is the parenting plan enforced by anybody? Well, it's really, again, it's a 3-part contract, essentially. The two parents and then the court, the state, if you will. And so if one parent is breaking, is not following the parenting plan, the other parent can enforce. They can do what we call a motion to enforce, which is just a fancy term of basically going back to court and saying, Judge, this parent is not following what was agreed to, hold them accountable.
So one of the things common to parenting plans is medical decisions for the child. And what a lot of the parenting plans will say as a starting point is that both parents get a say in major medical decisions affecting the children. But it will also usually say in an emergency, the parent who has the child, they have the ability to make a decision on the spot. If, God forbid, you're in a car accident and, the EMS people ask, can, they do an emergency procedure on your child? You're gonna have the right under the parenting plan to make that decision. You're just gonna have to tell the other parent in a reasonable amount of time. So a lot of parenting plans, they're worked out between parents, usually with the help of attorneys, and judges don't ever have to pick what's in the parenting plan. But sometimes, believe it or not, people who are getting divorced can't agree on all aspects of what a parenting plan is. And the recourse in that situation is having the judge decide. The judge will hear the evidence. Both parents will testify. Sometimes there'll be other witnesses. And the judge will determine what should be in the parenting plan based on the best interest of the child. That's the legal standard that the judge will apply.